Hi, everybody. Welcome to this month's episode with our two favorite people from the Ceramic League of Miami. Thank you guys for coming. We are in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to be talking about Potters for Peace and also a makers market later next month that the Ceramic League is going to host. So welcome, guys.
Thank you, Dani.
Hey, thank you. So first, I was going to talk about our project that we are doing with as a fundraiser for Potters for Peace, or they have an overlying group that's called the Good Foundations International. That is, they've kind of changed their name from Potters for Peace, but what they do is they're U.S.-based, not-for-profit, and they have a long-standing relationship in Nicaragua with many potters in Nicaragua, and they've established two things they do. They try to help the potters, I think, market their work that they produce, but they also do this water filter project, which is also worldwide, not just Nicaragua or Central America. They do it in Africa as well, and other countries. So what they do with that is they teach people how to make, grab this here, these ceramic water filters, okay? And so they set them up in a factory. They teach them how to make the factory, how to make the tools that you need to create these water filters, and they're made from clay that's available locally wherever they are, and it's a kind of a ram press that they use to push the clay into a mold, and then they're fired, and then they're embedded with a silver colloidal solution that takes out something like 99% of bacteria once they filter the water through this. So normally what they would do is they take this and they put it inside of a 5-gallon drum, plastic drum, that has a little spigot on it, and they pour the dirty water in and get the clean water out.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So what we're doing is we're creating, instead of using a 5-gallon drum, we're creating these ceramic forms to put the piece into rather than a plastic bucket. And then we're going to be selling those in an auction sale kind of thing at Books and Books on November 3rd.
Wow.
Books and Books in Coral Gables.
Okay.
So that's our plan, to try to raise some money for them. And I have, we did a workshop where our members were making these forms. They're still in process right now, so I don't have a lot of pictures to show you about that. But I do have these images here that just give you an idea of, like, this is one of the factories where they're producing the filters, and you can see how many they're able to do. It's a efficient process, and then you can see here. You can see normally the buckets that they use to put the filters into, and some of the participants, people that benefit from this, and you can see them there with their buckets ready to go for the filters. This is a shot of the kilns they use to fire the buckets.
Wow.
So you can see them in operation there. And then you can see here they're gathering the dirty water to be able to clean the water. Okay, so it's part of our mission at the Ceramic League to really explore all uses of ceramics and throughout and how they could benefit different groups and communities. So that's our project we're doing right now, and hopefully, people will come out. We're going to be also having an exhibition of these pieces that are going to be at the Wirtz Gallery in South Miami at our bank. And so that's going to happen starting October 1st.
October 1st. Okay.
Yeah.
So in about a week or so.
Yeah, we're going to have an opening reception actually on that Thursday, the 3rd, I believe it's the Thursday. So that's going to begin at 5 o'clock at the bank. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that we're doing as part of our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. It all ties together very well because it shows as James was saying, how universally pottery, ceramics are part of the household in most countries, and how using the naturally found clay, as they do in Nicaragua, they're able to improve their lifestyle, improve their water quality. And so it all is coming together. This year, as we scheduled our makers markets, we chose to coincide them with whatever the community is celebrating. So because from September 15th to October 15th, it's Hispanic Heritage, we chose to do our makers market that's coming up as a celebration of Hispanic heritage. There are 21 countries that are recognized. Each of these countries has their own style of pottery, has their own manner of using the pottery, but for the most part, they're pieces that centuries ago were used as part of the daily life and continue to be used as part of daily life, either for cooking, food storage, water storage, decorative purposes. So what has happened in the Hispanic world has really influenced a lot of the pottery that we see here in the United States, in the Southwest, in parts of southern U.S., Hispanic communities, and new Hispanic communities around the country have created some very good Hispanic artists. So it all comes together, and we're hoping to bring it all together, not only through the Potters for Peace events that we're having, but on October 19th, we're having a makers market. And we're going to be celebrating our Hispanic teachers, our Hispanic members. We hope to have some food trucks that will come in. But the makers themselves will be a good number of them are Hispanic makers. Not just of pottery, which is the fun part.
Oh, okay.
We bring in wood turners. We bring in soap makers. We partner with the public library system. They bring their makers unit. We open our gallery so that we can sell the pieces that our members have created. So it's a real mix of events, but it's again a way of celebrating not only pottery but all crafts and how they interact with each other.
Of course, that's beautiful. Thank you for that.
I did want to mention that the Wirtz Gallery is at the United Community Bank in South Miami, right on Sunset Drive.
Okay, and that's going to be
Thursday of next week.
Thursday
at
of next
5
week.
At 5 p.m.
Gotcha.
It's going to start.
And is that free of cost?
Yeah.
Free
yeah,
entry?
It's free entry. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it'd be great to have everybody there because it's a good opportunity for people to learn about us. That's always a great challenge, making sure everybody knows that the Ceramic League continues to be here after almost 75 years, and we're going strong. So whenever we can have an event in a community setting like our bank, it's really beneficial for the organization.
Yeah, and it's wonderful because it sounds like it's not just focused on one thing. You're helping other people, other artists, other kinds of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a universality to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a lot of community outreach, and we could probably do a whole other show on just that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We are ready.
Yeah.
We're ready for it. And I have a quick question about, so you brought up the workshop that you guys have. How can people find out about that information online? Where should they go?
Well, we did announce it on our website, and it was open to non-members to participate. We had a couple of people who were non-members participate. It was, for this workshop, it was a very low fee. It was like $15, I think we charged. And that's just to help us cover some of the costs of the clay and the firings and so forth, you know. So yeah, we had a good number of participants. We had about 16, 17 people that were there doing it. So yes, you know, you could periodically check out our website for events that are upcoming. We're going to have another workshop soon in October. I believe it's on the starts on the 26th, 27th. That's with a very well-known ceramic artist, Lisa Orr. And funny enough, she's done a lot of work in Mexico, and with a lot of her work is very colorful and dynamic. So very influenced, I think, in some regards by Mexican pottery, and so. But she's going to be doing something called a rocket kiln workshop, and we're actually partnering with FIU on that. So we're going to be doing it over at FIU ceramics department and on the campus, on the Tamiami campus. So that's going to happen for that 2-day workshop. And what she does is she takes an old disused electric kiln that we remove all the elements out of and just use the body of it, and then she uses a special configuration of bricks, and she uses the lid with a simple chimney made out of metal, and she fires these with wood, just wood, so little skinny sticks of wood actually, and she will get very high temperatures very quickly in this kiln. It's like she fires it to cone 10 in 4 to 5 hours, which is like 2350 degrees. So that's a
wow. Is that a lot hotter than?
It's well, it's the same stoneware temperatures that we would fire, ware for home use or for utilitarian things. So it's a very but firing it that quickly is somewhat unusual in a wood fired situation. So it's a way to show people, like beginning potters or people who are starting out in their career maybe, or who have limited resources, how they can make something that they can actually utilize and fire and get these kind of temperatures in a way that's very inexpensive.
With each type of firing, you get a different effect. Yep. So the beauty of what James is talking about is that you get a wood-fired effect, which normally takes about 72 hours to fire a wood-fire kiln. You have to stoke it every 15 minutes. It is truly a community effort when you fire a wood-fire kiln. But you're getting that in far less time, with far less effort and resources, but you're getting the effect. So it really is a fascinating way to fire.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, because it is a short-term thing, you're not getting as much of the true effects of wood fire that you might get with a wood ash accumulating on the pots like they do in a longer firings. And then that ash will actually melt and turn into a glaze. So, so that's something that you get in these larger, like Anagama type, kilns that take days to fire sometimes. So, so yeah, and with these rocket kilns, you get more of an oxidation atmosphere generally than you would in a traditional wood fire kiln, which would usually have more reduction happening, which affects colors and so forth.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm like taking everything in. It's really wonderful what you guys do, honestly, and it's cool that you don't just stay in one place, that you kind of go everywhere and you welcome people who maybe aren't used to pottery or even certain
oh yeah, I mean, our whole mission is to kind of educate the public about ceramics and what's available. And it's we live in our time when people are so often looking at screens all day long and not really actively using their hands to make things necessarily. It's an outlet, it's a way to focus on something creative and do something that's maybe outside of even your comfort zone. So it's very therapeutic in a way, for people.
And people are surprised when they see us doing it. They're like, wow, I've only seen it on Ghost, or I did that as a kid in a summer camp, or back in the day when they had it in the schools. So when they get the opportunity to reconnect with the clay and try it, it just opens up like a
Yeah.
different part of your brain, and it really is. It's therapeutic. It's relaxing. It's just a lot of fun.
Definitely. And we see that you're making something right
Well,
now.
I just made a little kitty cat.
Oh my
little-
gosh.
So
A
this
little
is
bowl.
a pinch pot.
Okay.
This is going to be. I'm hand building today. You know, those who have watched this before, I normally bring the kiln. This is going to be a 3-section plate. Am I looking in the right place? There we go. And this is another cat. This will be, all of these pieces are going to be black. This is a type of clay that fires black. And in time for Halloween, we're going to have black cats. And so, you know, but I mean, you saw how quickly I did this. It's you know.
Yeah, no.
And it's just your imagination is the only limit, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw earlier that you brought something to kind of mold the shape for the cat. Do you mind showing that?
The one for the cat is simply this that's bought at
Any
your
store?
local thrift store.
Yeah, and that's something that I think people should also know is that you can use anything you have at home. You
That's
can use
right.
anything that you find. It
This
doesn't
is
have
gonna
to be
be
expensive.
Jack-o'-lantern plate. I'm going to do that next.
You can definitely make your own tools.
And you can make your own.
There's you know, almost anything can be a tool.
Yep.
For clay. So-
That's
Leaves.
awesome.
You know, I tell people go outside, find some leaves, find some bark off a tree, I mean, anything.
For that texture.
Exactly. Texture. I'm a big fan of texture, so yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm always looking for things.
I have one question about that clay. What makes it black when it fires? Is it something inside the clay itself?
Well, the chemical composition, it's a heavy black iron oxide clay.
They often use when they make the clay. They often use stains instead of just directly adding oxides to it, because stains are sort of oxides that have been already fired once, so they have been calcined and then ground up, so they've already gone through their chemical change, and so they're adding that stain to the clay usually to get it to fire black like that.
Cool.
And I have fired a few pieces already, and it really does fire black. It's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
That's cool. Going back to the Hispanic Makers Market, I know that we have some images that we can show. Maybe we can bring those up again.
Sure.
Is there anything else you wanted to mention about the market, or just kind of talking about what you see on the screen?
Well, we created the PowerPoint simply to give an idea of what different countries do. Many of these countries, it's not only what they're making today, but the archaeological finds from pre-Columbian times, like in Central America, Peru, Mexico for sure. So we have a mix of the archaeological as well as what they're making today. Another interesting component of some of the pottery of the Hispanic world is that there, for example, in Puerto Rico, in the Dominican Republic, you still see the influence of the native communities that were there when the Spaniards came over. In Puerto Rico, you still have a lot of examples of Taino. Taino was the nation that was there, of Taino pottery. And they had very specific symbology. They, in fact, tattoos are Taino tattoos are very popular because their symbols are really very interesting. The kind of symbols that when you look at it, you go, oh yeah, I get what that is. Yeah. And in fact, Puerto Rico is I think the only place in the Americas that actually claims they've created a Taino heritage site. Wow. Where they have found many of those pieces. Tainos were also very prevalent in Cuba. So when you visit the Archaeological Museum in Cuba, they also have these Taino pieces. But Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, you see a lot of that native type of pottery.
I just wanted to mention we are going to be doing another workshop in February with one of our resident artists, Polo Ramirez. we're partnering on that with the Museum of Art and Design downtown at the building downtown.
Yeah, I think I've been there before.
Yeah. So that building's under renovation right now, but they're still actively doing things. So that's where they house the Kislak collection, which is a collection that has a lot of many examples of pre-Columbian ceramics. So that's sort of Polo is from Peru. And his family were traditional potters, and so he grew up making these pots. And he had a big show upstate not long ago, and in a museum up there. Don't recall which one it was, but he's a fairly well-known potter, and is working in these kinds of traditions, And so that workshop's going to happen in February. It'll be announced on our website, but it'll also be announced through the Museum of Art and Design.
Awesome.
And he participates in our makers markets because his studio is at the Ceramic League.
Oh, really?
He makes beautiful ware. I mean, it's very different from we have such a variety of instructors, and they each have their own style and method, and his is one of those that stands out. So it's a lot of fun. He always participates, and we always like having him at our market. Yeah.
So for people who don't want to wait until next year, they can just check out your makers market in October.
Yeah, and
hopefully,
also
we need it.
Please.
Polo also teaches a class on Saturday mornings. If our session's sort of about halfway through right now, but if people are interested, I'm sure he's going to be teaching again next session, starting somewhere. I think it starts around mid-October or the end of October.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask about your classes because they started in September, on the 3rd of September. For people who haven't signed up, is there a way that they can?
Well, you need to sign up at the beginning of the session before you can't really start in the middle. So. But if they go to the website, we haven't put up the next round yet, but it should be up on our calendar on the website within the next week or two.
Okay, beautiful, awesome. So people can expect, if you guys didn't get to sign up for your classes before September, soon we're gonna see what classes you guys have available.
Yeah, we should. Normally have a pretty wide variety of offerings. The Polo's class is doing the traditional kind of building with the clay. It's kind of a trip to see him do it because he actually kind of sits on the ground and starts his pots on his feet and starts like turning the piece and adding these coils on his feet, and it's kind of unique.
Entire body. He uses
to
everything.
Do some of the work.
Yeah. And so I don't think he expects his students to do that necessarily.
No.
I'll do it. I'll take my shoes off. I don't care.
He discouraged us from doing it. I took his class.
He said, no, don't take your shoes off. Yeah, that's so funny.
But he does a unique class, and then he does a pit firing type firing in the back there. So it comes out with the effects of the traditional work.
He makes clay whistles that are very, people love the whistles, and he's done a clay whistle workshop. His pottery many times is centered around a bird that is typical of Peru, which legend has taught people how to make pottery. I mean, that's the legend from his village.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So a lot of his pottery has that imagery in it. And it really is lovely work that he does. He's been, and like James was saying, he's been recognized through the Ceramic Arts Network, which does the Ceramics Monthly magazine. He's had workshops all over the country. So it's really special for us to have him as part of the Ceramic League.
He was just featured in Ceramics Monthly magazine I think it was last month.
Yeah.
So there's it's definitely, he's a plus for us to have him there.
So I want to go over, at the end, you have a lot of events and things coming up. But for Potters for Peace, what's the next workshop that you have?
Oh, well, it's just a one-time thing we're doing.
Gotcha.
But we will have the auction on November 3rd.
Gotcha.
And the show, opening next week. So people will be able to look at the work. I mean, there'll probably be more pieces coming. We did the workshop on, I think it was the end of August, the very end of August. And, it's takes a long time for especially bigger pieces like that to dry and be able to get fired and so forth. So we probably won't have as many pieces initially in the show that we were hoping for. I might try to add some pieces to the show as it goes along, or for the auction, we'll definitely have more than what will be displayed. So,
gotcha.
We're also working out, I don't know if I mentioned, but Rachel Silverstein from Waterkeepers is going to be doing a little talk at the event, at the auction event.
Okay.
Who, I don't know if you know them, but they're a local group that does a lot of work with clean water situations and coral restoration and things like that, and keeping the bay clean. Their work is very vital. I think they influence politicians to try to come up with legislation to keep the water clean here in Miami-Dade. So part of the idea of this was to also draw attention to our own issues with water, clean water here, by talking about this group. So we're trying to have an influence on what happens in other places, but also on what happens here.
Here, yeah. Cool. So you have, starting next week, Thursday at 5 p.m., the exhibition.
Right.
Free entry, so anybody can go. And the auction for that's going to be November 3rd.
Yeah, at Books and Coral Gables.
Books and Coral Gables. If you guys haven't been there, it's honestly one of my favorite bookstores to go to.
Place.
I know, they're so lovely and so homey.
Yeah.
And then you have your Hispanic Makers Market, October 16th, 19th. October 19th.
Right.
Then we're doing the Rocket Kiln Workshop the 26th.
The 26th.
Of October.
Right.
Do you have anything for Halloween coming up?
No.
We don't have anything. We don't have anything scheduled right now. I mean,
Trying to think.
Sometimes we do kind of a pop-up workshop.
Yeah.
For stuff like that. Where we may not have scheduled it a long time ahead of time, and we'll at the last minute some members will go, let's have a workshop let's do a thing, and something like that will probably happen for Halloween.
I also want to mention every Sunday, the Ceramic League is represented at the Pinecrest Market.
Okay.
Different members go and take their ware and ware from the Ceramic League. It's part of our fundraising. It's part of our sales effort. It's part of our PR, community outreach effort. We will be at Pinecrest like the Sunday before Halloween.
Okay.
So whatever Halloween-ish pieces that we have, the little ghosts, jack-o'-lantern plates, black cats, we'll have for sale that day. It's a way of participating in Halloween, and hopefully we do have a little workshop that would be fun, make some Halloween-related things. So.
Cool. And you guys partner with a lot of people for outreach. Where can people who haven't partnered with you yet find you or contact you for that information?
Well, they could always just contact me at my email, president@ceramicleaguemiami.org. If there's somebody out there that wants to partner with us, be happy to talk about it.
And is this for also is this for what kind of people do you usually partner with, and who haven't you partnered with that you would want to partner with?
Any other arts organizations we'd be interested in doing something with, but also other, like we've done things with Lighthouse for the Blind and and
Lotus House.
Lotus House. There was that genetic group.
Cerebral palsy.
Yeah,
we used
cerebral. We've done cerebral palsy.
Easter
before.
seals
Yeah.
in the
So
past.
it's anything that where ceramics might be useful.
Which is everything now. We've learned it.
Really
so
it
we
is.
could talk to anybody who might be interested in group and working with us, especially other non-for-profits.
A
or
lot of
schools.
our community outreach grows out of the members that we have at that particular time, who they might know and what they may be a part of. So we've worked with the Homestead Center for the Arts. There's an organization in Homestead, and we work with them. We advise them of our events coming up. A couple of us are members. A couple of us are members of the Partners for Art and Design, who promote arts all over Miami-Dade County. So it really depends on the different members, but we do tap into our membership for that kind of outreach as well.
Gotcha.
If they know somebody in an organization, if they're a member of another nonprofit group, certainly we want to tap into that.
Awesome. So I think we covered everything that we could cover for this segment. But we're looking forward to seeing you guys again next month.
Excellent.
Do you want to show what you've finished, Diana?
Well, I finished my little jack-o'-lantern. It's still very wet.
Oh, okay.
But I can show it like this. So I don't know which cameras,
Maybe.
am I pointing in the wrong direction here? So it's a little jack-o'-lantern plate, and as soon as it dries a little bit, it'll be in better shape to take the form, and it'll be dried and fired and glazed and fired, and it'll be a useful item, hopefully.
And is that for helping with
It helps to push the form into it.
without
Yeah.
Squishing it
Without
on
squishing
a
it, exactly.
hard. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I would have never thought about that. I would have
Yeah.
probably tried at home and then gone through the process of, oh no, the bottom is all messed up now.
I actually went to a national conference to learn this process.
Oh, really?
They taught us that.
It's been used now for
ages.
some time.
Yeah.
But
Oh, wow.
but there's
Yeah.
there's all kinds of techniques and
Right.
tools that you can learn about at the league, but also there are conferences that
Right.
people come from all over the country to go to.
Mhm.
So ceramics is a big deal here.
Yeah,
It is.
it is. Thank you guys for what you do.
Well,
Really, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course,
This is
thank you
very
for
special for us to be able to talk about it. So
Yeah,
we could
same.
go on for hours.
I know. No, we really
don't want to
could.
bore.
But next Thursday, starting at 5 o'clock, the exhibition, which is in
It's at the United.
The old First National Bank of South Miami.
Gotcha.
It's
it's
so
called
very
United
local.
Community Bank. They changed
Right.
the name to
Mhm.
United Community Bank.
5 o'clock, South
Yeah.
Miami United Community Bank,
Mhm.
and then the Hispanic Makers Market, October 19th,
At the Ceramic League.
at
right.
the Ceramic League.
Right.
And then
Beautiful.
And then the Rocket Kiln workshop is going to be at FIU, Tamiami campus, the ceramics studio.
Mm-hmm.
But you can sign up. That's going to be on our website soon. Should be up today, I think, on our website to be able to sign up for that workshop.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you for watching. We hope to see you next Thursday and October 19th at the Hispanic Makers Market at the Ceramic League. Thank you guys.
Thank you.